Hey everybody, it's Alex from Old Man Playing Video Games Badly. Not doing video games again today. Today we're talking crypto, GPUs, mining, low hash rate cards, new video cards coming, and when the hell are the prices gonna get good?
Old Man Playing Video Games Badly.
So how's everybody doing? Welcome to another edition of Old Man bitching about the fact that he doesn't have a graphics card yet. It's what it feels like, but the reality is I'm just trying to keep up with the situation, and some of the things I'm seeing are interesting, and I think you guys kind of would like to know about them. So today's fun starts with Hardware Unboxed. Tim and Steve, and Steve and Tim, and Tim and Steve. Together, no monitors today, so no monitor Steve, they're all together today. And you will see, will GPUs get cheaper due to recent crypto drop? May question and answers part 2. Good video. They answer lots of fan questions, and they're really knowledgeable guys, number one. But number two, they've also sort of given the middle finger to a lot of the industry that's been kind of nasty with them. This week they've been particularly going after AS Rock for their less than rock solid motherboards in the I believe it's the B560 range. Anyway, you'll have to go look at their videos for it. But as you can tell, the question is, are GPUs getting cheaper due to the crypto drop? Tis a good question, my friends. Then we have Mr. Gamermeld, whose name I don't know. I checked, I couldn't find it. Anyway, Mr. Gamermeld over here, his site, or his YouTube page, I say site, old-fashioned that way. His YouTube channel is a lot to do with tech and a lot to do with rumors. Usually, looking at some of the rumors for potential things coming down the pipeline, be it in CPUs, GPUs, motherboards, etc. And one of the things he's talking about is, of course, that Nvidia Thursday, teased their upcoming 3080 Ti, 3070 Ti. They didn't specify it, but they're going to have an announcement on the 31st, and that would appear to be the only things in the pile. Those are cards that are supposed to be released in June. And those cards will be special for a completely different reason. Third guy on the pile is Jay from Jay's 2 Cents. No matter what I do, no matter what picture I take of Jay, he always looks kind of serious, no matter what he's doing. I love Jay's channel too. Jay's another one of the channels I check out daily. Don't miss it. And of course, new video cards this month. Our price is going to drop. Everybody's asking the same price. What's the difference? Will it make a difference? The answer is, well, maybe, Jay. Maybe. The reason why there's a maybe, well, we'll get to that in a second. I will tell you the biggest problem I have today actually has to do with the Newegg Shuffle. Let me just give you the general look of it. The Newegg Shuffle is a way that Newegg retailer, online retailer, has come up with to sell things that are too popular to put in inventory. Basically, if they put it in inventory, there would be panic buying. They've had that problem on release days where a product's getting released at 9 a.m. and like a million people show up and trash their servers and make it impossible for anybody to buy. So they've gone to this shuffle, which is 5 or 6 days a week. They run basically a lottery for the chance to pay them for products. And I have to give Newegg credit. For the most part, they seem to have started this with good intentions. And the prices that they've been charging for the components that they have been selling through the shuffle generally have been pretty reasonable, I do have to say, for the most part. However, today's shuffle, Two things. Number one is they're going more and more with the tide sale method. I know. It's getting mad at me because I've had it open for like 2 hours. They're going with the tide sales. Specifically like things like requiring that you buy a motherboard. In the past, they've been doing it with buy a motherboard, sometimes the power supply, sometimes RAM. But today, they've gone all out. And they've gone all out in two ways. Number one is they're requiring every GPU purchase, you are required to buy a motherboard and a 5600X Ryzen 5 processor. The other thing is the prices of these video cards will make you cry. The cheapest one, RX 6700 Sapphire, $909. That's the cheapest one. That $909 combined with the motherboard, combined with the processor, their cheapest thing today for a GPU, if you're looking for GPU, is $1,334. And that trundles all the way up to the 6090s, which they're retailing for $2,159.99. Yeah. $2,159 for GPU. Yeah. This is the first time, actually, I can be honest with you. I don't know if it's a question of the board partners for AMD raising their prices. I don't know if it's AMD raising their prices to the board partners, but the 6700 XT, when it was released, was targeted to just below $500 MSRP. Now the cheapest one that Newegg is pushing is $909. I don't care the need. I've been waiting 8 months for a GPU. A 6700 is not worth $900. It's only worth $900 if you're going to mine with it, basically. It's not worth $900 for somebody who is going to use it for gaming, productivity, video editing, etc. It's a great video card, don't get me wrong. 6700 XT has proven to be quite the good card, a little bit better than a 3060, not quite a 3070 Ti, very in that range. Really good, but $909? No. I don't know who along the way, from Newegg to their distributor to the board partners back to AMD, somebody in there is making an absolute buttload of money on this, because that's way beyond what these cards cost to make. That's way beyond what they should be at retail. But anyway, that by itself is a whole other problem. But I mentioned this the other day in another video. The link will be up over there. It'll appear above my head. That there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of that tunnel comes in the form of the cryptocurrency market. Now, you would think miners are the people that everybody wanting to buy a GPU for gaming hates, because the miners have I won't say that they completely screwed the market by themselves, but they have been a very, very big force in the screwing of the market. With there being already a shortage of chips and a shortage of GPUs, the miners have additionally taken many cards out of the marketplace. While they were not willing, the CFO of Nvidia was not willing to specify exactly how many cars were sold to miners, they still happily admitted that somewhere around 100 million of their business in the final quarter of 2020 was selling GPUs to miners. That was their estimate. So even if you $1,000 a card, whatever, that's 100,000 cards. Now, I know 100,000 GPUs probably wouldn't fix the marketplace, but I'll tell you what, if you took 100,000 people out of this marketplace right now, gave them graphics card and stopped them from hounding everybody to looking for one, you would have a significantly different marketplace. So, first of all, I should point out, by the way, this crypto thing is from I always forget their name, Coin Market Cap. And it's a really cool thing because basically they have all the hottest currency and they have all the coins. I mean, I can scroll way down. They have 54 pages, so 5,400 different crappy coins. Some good ones, some crappy ones. They have scam, I believe, and all the other coins. And you can see that pretty much everybody has had the same thing. Bitcoin was 63,000 peak or 62,000 something peak. Ethereum was almost 4,200 peak. They all crashed. They all went down 30, 40, 50% fairly quickly too. They've recovered a bunch. To be fair, you can look at the charts for just about everybody's got the same problem. They all went down. They've all recovered up to a certain point. But Bitcoin itself appears to be hitting a lot of price resistance under 40,000. It's crossed 40,000 a couple of times since, but every time it crosses it, it falls back down. Basically, on the weekends, it drops. And Ethereum. Ethereum is important because Ethereum is the coin that most miners are mining. You cannot realistically mine Bitcoin on GPUs anymore. I think you may be able to still do it with 3090s, but there's not a lot of money in it. There's not enough money in it to make it worth doing. But Ethereum, oh yeah, there's profit. At this point, a 3070 would generate you about $150 a month after electricity. So it means if you're paying $1,000 for that card, it's going to take you, 6-7 months to pay for the card before you start making a profit. And that number is very important. That 6,000 to 7,000 number is a really important number because Ethereum is working on moving away from mining. Mining is considered proof of work. You basically do the work and you get rewarded for the work. And it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to process a block. It's a lot of calculation to the point where Ethereum is using an insane amount of electricity, somewhere in the 6 gigawatts or something of power to do the current level of processing that Ethereum network is demanding. So Ethereum network is working to move away from proof of work, i.e. mining, and move towards what they call proof of stake, which is basically you put a certain number of coins, I think the number's 35 Ethereum coins into a pool, and then you will get selected out of the pool to do processing for a block or a transaction block, and you will earn your rewards as a result. The difficulty on that is mega times lower. The total electricity thing, they had a chart and they had to multiply the size of the divisions by 2,000 to be able to show the proof of stake power consumption compared to all the others. Basically, in relative terms, Bitcoin uses a Burj Dubai amount of electricity, where Ethereum currently uses a Leaning Tower of Pisa. And when they move to proof of stake, they will move to something about the size of a wood screw. So the change is significant. But what that change means, of course, is that all of these graphics cards being used to mine Ethereum will suddenly have a lot less to do. Like nothing. The big news is that this is supposed to happen before the end of 2021. The bigger news is that they're trying to do it sooner. All of the coins from Bitcoin all the way down the line have gotten a lot of flack recently in regards to their power consumption and just the insane waste of resources. Elon Musk, who has his bully pulpit being Elon, I guess, he basically got himself and his company out of Bitcoin because Bitcoin wastes resources, and it makes no sense when you're running a company that makes green electric cars to be supporting Bitcoin, which basically wastes electricity endlessly to figure out pissy little puzzles. So Elon has a lot of pressure on that. He's been putting a lot of pressure on, of all things, Dogecoin, to try to get them to do similar so that it can become the coin of the future kind of thing. But there is a lot of pressure all the way up and down on every coin to move away from the proof of work model, because the proof of work model in the long run is incredibly wasteful of resources and is not going to be tolerated, forever. It's like an electricity pyramid scheme, basically. You end up having to put more and more power in all the time just to try to stay in place, which makes absolutely no sense. So what does this actually mean about GPUs? And as you see my little scroller at the bottom, GPU, are prices about to drop? Well, the answer is yes. And I can say that with an absolute certainty for the following reasons. Number one is, of course, miners. Already, if you are a miner and you were thinking about buying more cards to mine, the situation with Ethereum basically makes it so that it's unlikely to be very profitable if you keep adding cards at this point. Some people will do it. If they can get 2 more months, I'm sure some people are making that calculation where if they can buy a card today for 1,000, run it for 2 months and make $300-400, and then sell the card for 600 before the market crashes, they can break even or make a little bit of profit. That might work. It might not work. If you currently own cards, you will probably continue to run them until you cannot run them anymore. Smart people, however, will see the cliff coming, see the end of the road, and they will start to liquidate their way out of their graphics cards before the market price of graphic cards, particularly through places like eBay and Facebook Marketplace and whatnot, before that really starts to drop. Because once GPU prices start to drop, once used GPUs start to come into the market in significant numbers, what will happen is the prices will drop rapidly. My feeling is September is kind of the target point where by September, Ethereum will most certainly have set an absolute date or an absolute transaction block. Because again, they don't work in dates as much as they work on a transaction block number. They will specify a block number at which they will hard fork to the proof of stake model only. And at that point, miners will be able to calculate pretty much down to the last moment when they will be able to, how much money they'll be able to make with their cards, and how profitable it will be to continue to run those cards up to that date versus putting them in the marketplace. If that date comes as at its very latest, which I understand is just before Christmas was the date that I saw in reports, you would be looking at a time around September where it would start to become more and more pressing for miners to get away from mining Ethereum and get towards selling their cards before their cards lose all of their value. You can imagine that they have bought these cards often at very inflated prices, and that even in the best scenario, new cards will return to something around their MSRP, and used cards will have to sell for less than MSRP. Well, MSRP is already half or less than what they've been paying for these cards, and then less than that again. Like I said, you're talking cards, I'm guessing in the $200 to $300 US range for a 3060 or 3070 and that thing. Used, because the cards will be about a year old and will have mined, and everybody will know it because that's the only people who are going to be selling them. So it's going to be a pretty obvious situation. Also, there's one other thing affecting this marketplace beyond mining itself, which is that Nvidia, who will be announcing new cards, 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti, apparently on Monday the 31st of May, that these cards will be what they call LHR, low hash rate cards, which is that those cards will only hash or process Ethereum at 50% speed. They will be blocked in a manner that they cannot exceed that, or at least until somebody messes up and tells somebody how to do it. But basically, those cards will not be able to mine Ethereum efficiently. At 50% hash rate, the cards are worthless. Literally, there's no longer a market for them for mining. Mining already is a very, very marginal affair already, because too many people are mining and the value of Ethereum has dropped enough to put a lot of people very close to the line. Like I said, a 3060 or 3070, trying to remember because I've done a few calculations on this, a card in that range at this point is making, at $2,700, making probably $150 a month. If that price drops to $2,000, that number drops down to probably about less than $100 a month, and it will take forever to recoup the cost of the card, and it's really becomes less and less worth it over time. So will this affect the price of GPUs? Most certainly. The low hash rate cards, if nothing else, will begin the process of removing the miners from the GPU market, or will at least focus the miners on very specific cards. All 3070 and 3080s made after a certain date will be low hash rate cards. This was what all the reports had in them, was that these cards, that starting at this point, there will be no 3070 or 3080s made. They'll all be TIs, and they will all be low hash rate cards. That will create a situation where a big chunk of the potential market, the cards that were the most desirable because of price versus performance for mining, will no longer be desirable for miners to buy. When you start to remove the miners from the marketplace and you start to make these cards more available to consumers, you will start to see a difference, and that will affect all prices in GPUs. What will happen though, and you have to watch out for this, is certain cards, 3090s, 6900s, and possibly all the other AMD cards will remain artificially high because they will continue to be able to mine Ethereum efficiently. Further, the 3060 Ti may move to a low hash rate, but they tried to do low hash rate with it once, and Nvidia owned themselves badly by releasing a driver that disabled it. It showed people how it was done, and well, you know, the toothpaste is out of the tube. Everybody, you know, it's there. You can't put it back. Everybody knows how to do it. But the belief is that even the 3060 Ti's in the long run will move over to low hash rate. 3090s, not so clear. Nvidia knows what side of the bread the butter's on. They're not going to, you know, piss off the high-end guys quite so much. And to be honest with you, people who are buying 3090s or buying 6900s, especially, like I said, if you're a video producer, video editing, video rendering, 3D rendering, modeling, stuff like that, if the price is $1,000 higher, you just pay $1,000 higher because you need the thing. And they can get away with a lot more. But in the consumer market is a lot more sensitive. So what's going to happen? Well, my guess is this. Number one is the low hash rate cards will start to come out, and they will start to change the market slowly. The problem is, of course, that to some extent, the releases may be more paper releases. We may not actually see these cards in retail for a while. The dates that I heard was the first week of June for the 3080 Ti and the second week of June for the 3070 Ti. And that's based on the dates that were provided to reviewers for the embargo, for when they're allowed to actually release on YouTube reviews of the cards. The question at hand, the question that nobody can say, is how many 3070s or 3080 Ti's have been built and will be sent to the marketplace on those release dates, and how many will be continue to be built going forward. Some have suggested, now, and this is kind of where it gets interesting. Some have suggested that part of the most recent shortages of video cards have been because Nvidia has been working on the low hash rate cards for 30 or 45 days now, and they're going to come to the marketplace in June and bury the marketplace in these non-mining cards to try to take care of some of the consumer demand. That Nvidia perhaps sees a situation here where they can come in and put a lot of hurt on AMD, because AMD is not really seeming to react to the mining realities. AMD seems just to be having a hard enough time to produce enough cards. They don't seem to be as sensitive to the consumer versus mining situation. Nvidia, however, has done a couple things. Number one is that they've created their mining only, their CMP cards, which they're trying to push. And they've gone with these low hash rate cards. As I said, I believe that every card in the market in the Nvidia lineup, except for the 3090, will become a low hash rate card. That will make a big change. And it's just a question of the volume. How many cards get in consumers' hands in June, July, August, and into September? The other half of it is the changes in the crypto market. I watch the crypto market every day. I'm watching it right now going up. I'm watching it go down. I'm watching it crash, cheering it as it goes down, and not so happy when it goes back up, but that's okay. It happens. And when I'm watching those things, I'm watching them because I know that the crypto market in the end holds the biggest key in all of this. Production of video cards, because of the worldwide chip shortage and the worldwide blah, 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 shortages of everything at this point, there will be, the solution will not come from the supply side as much as we hope it does. We can hope, like I said, that Nvidia has been stockpiling these low hash rate chips and boards for a while, and that their board partners will release a metric shit ton of cards in June and change the marketplace around quite a bit. But on the other side, I sincerely believe that the miners moving away from the GPU market will have a much larger impact. As I said, when Nvidia admitted that they sold, by their estimates, approximately $100 million worth of GPUs to miners in the last quarter of 2020, so that would be the RTX-3070 series release window quarter, that's 100,000 plus cards, 150,000 cards sold in that quarter. And you have to assume that they've pushed out a similar number in the next quarter as well. I can tell you, you put 100,000, 150,000, 300,000 GPUs into the consumer marketplace today, and much of the consumer demand would be absorbed. It would certainly be a game changer. So we can hope that we're going to have some game changes. So when we get back to the question of our friends at Newegg and their shuffle. I appreciate all the effort that Newegg has made. This has been a very, very difficult time for everybody. It's been difficult for them because every time they were getting a new product release, their sites were getting dragged down, and essentially denial of service level attacks of people trying to get bots to buy their stuff and whatnot. It's been horrible. It's been rough. It's been tough. It's been complicated. The shuffle has been a better solution. It still sucks. It sucks that I've probably done it 75 times and I've never won anything besides sorry you weren't selected email. But at the same time, I'm starting to see now where I see a light at the end of the tunnel for the GPU prices. And when you compare that light to the prices that they're trying to push out the door, at a certain point, I'm almost lucky that I'm not winning. So I'm not sure if it's a win or a loss given that. So if you're waiting to buy a GPU, keep your eye on the prices. Newegg Shuffle does have some really good prices. They had 3060s the other day and they were in about the 500 range. I think it was 564, which is still high. I mean, again, a 3060 is supposed to be a $300 card, so you're paying almost double, but it's starting to at least get down to the point where most people can afford it, or more people can afford it. But if you're not seeing prices that you're comfortable with, don't even bother. Just hang out and wait, because things will change. It won't be today, it won't be tomorrow. But it could start changing as soon as Monday next week. The low hash rate cards may make a difference in this marketplace. Ethereum mining will make a difference in this marketplace. And like I said, my personal prediction, worth nothing, okay? Just my opinion, September is going to be a significant turning point in the GPU marketplace. You will start to see more used cards on eBay. You will start to see the prices come down on eBay as a result. And that will take a lot of pressure off the retail side for the new cards, which will in turn start to force the prices down as the companies actually have to start competing to sell their products. So at that point, it'll be a happier place. But in the meantime, keep your heads down. Buy your G-SKU AMD processors and live what you get from there. Or buy your your RX 480s or whatever else you can find used that's cheap, and just use that until we get there, because it may still be a little while. Anyway, thanks very much. If you watched this long, you're a better man than I am, or a better girl than I am, because it's 33 minutes of me yapping. But it's an important thing. It's ongoing, and we need to deal with it. So thanks very much for watching, and I'd love to hear your comments, your input, your suggestions, whatever. Put your comments down there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, post on Twitter, post on Facebook, do what you do, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Old man playing video games badly.